Welcome to the live stream. For the people who don't know me, my name is Maarten Danenberg. I'm the regional product manager for the Brassicas, also responsible for the US. Today I would like to show you some of our new varieties on the demo field. Before I show you around, I want to explain tell you about the season we had here in the Netherlands. It has been quite challenging, in fact. To start it off, we had a really cold spring, so the season started slow. In the middle of summer, we had a huge rainfall. So I'm talking about 100 millimeters in an hour in this region, and the soil is quite heavy, so we do see some effects about that. But I will explain you a little bit later what the effects are. But we will start with early cabbage. I will show you flat cabbage. I got some nice round, blue-green type. We have a new early cauliflower I would like to show you. I will show you the sprouts. And we'll finish up with some storage cabbage for the northeast of the US. So to start off, the first variety I would like to show you is called Cali, short for California. It's a variety we introduced in the US, I think 2 years ago. As you can see here, it's all really getting over mature. It's pushing to be late, but it's still not cracking, so that's a good thing about it. What we liked about Cali, first of all, is the harvest uniformity. You can see it, every head is there. So usually it's one cut. So that's very efficient for the harvest crews of your growers. What we also like is the plant habit. The head is protected by the plant, so it's not too much exposed to the sun. So it gives a good cover. The heads, like I said, they're uniform, but they're quite dense. So they're extremely well suited for box cabbage, for fresh market. The core can be a bit longer, especially when you grow this cabbage in Arizona. In a counter season production, the core can extend just a little bit, but the head will still be compact and harvestable and uniform. So you will still have a harvestable product for fresh market. If you go into the summer, into California on the coast, the core gets considerably smaller and it's much more attractive looking. So this variety, we introduced 2 years ago. It's done well for us. We got interest from the market, and like I said, the main advantages are uniform, dense heads, well protected by the head, by the plant. It's fusarium resistant, and it's very dense, so good for fresh market. Continuing on, I would like to show you a flat cabbage called Lahana. So here we are in Lahana. Funny story, Lahana is actually the Turkish word for cabbage, but it's these types, are their normal traditional type of cabbage. So they're looking for flat types. I know there is some interest in the US for flats. This variety, as you can see, it's really flat. It's almost like a hamburger bun. Its maturity is around 85-90 days. Fusarium resistant. It's really compact, so if you'd like to shrink wrap it in a flow packer, it does this because it fits through the machine. As you can see, it's quite compact. If you compare it to a regular Dolma type, they're much more fluffy inside. This is more compact. So it's a healthy, easy growing crop. Works all through the seasons. You can grow it from spring to autumn. It's has a short core, fusarium resistance, and it's an easy grower. So if you have a customer who's looking for these kind of like a niche product, we have an excellent flat cabbage that can serve you well. Like I said, especially when the Turkish, they will laugh a lot when they hear the name. Continuing, I would like to show you a blue-green type. This is a variety we have been, it's called the 17-15-48 variety, which has been in trial in the US as a blue green type. In the southeast of the US, the black rot pressure is really strong. And this variety actually came out as one of our best against black rot in our internal trials, in our development trials in South Africa. You can see it has a big frame. And a large head of around 3-4 kilos. Here you see the effects of the rainfall quite clearly, you know, it's a bit stressed. But you know, if you're looking, so this variety is quite rugged, it has a big frame, easy growing, strong against black rot. I would say the maturity is around 100 days. Gets up to 3-4 kilos. And basically we sell this variety all over the globe in, you know, in areas with harsh conditions. So it's a really tough, rugged variety that, you know, with a lot of flexibility. Let me cut it in half, you can see the internals. You see it's really filled, it's really dense. Short core. You know, this, you know, you have to trust me on this, but it's probably around 3.5 kilos this head. But basically, so if you're looking for something, you know, that can stand, you know, especially I would say in Texas, Georgia, Florida, this could be, and the main reason would be the black rot resistance, which is quite high on this one. So it's in trial this year in the US, so you might have seen it, but we'll continue on with this one. Then I would like to show you one of our newest cauliflowers, a new early one. It's still in D1, but you know, in our first development stage, so that means the first year we show it with growers. It's called the 10-12-83. It's a 65-day variety, but as you can see it has a very nice frame. It means it's upright and it has a very nice wrap. So you know, the head will not be exposed to the sun, so it will not turn yellow. It's been doing well, at least in European conditions in spring. So it could fit also in, I would say, on the coast in California in the spring as well. It's, you know, there's not something that ready yet. I'm looking for a nice one to cut, because the previous planting was over mature and this one is on the edge. Maybe this one. It's like a softball now. Still quite small. But the main reason because it's really too small to judge it, but what we saw this year, it has a very nice bowl, so it's nicely packed in the leaves. It has a clean bottom, so no basal scarring, no yellow leaves. The curd quality is quite nice, so it's dense, white. So it's basically for spring, if you're looking for a nice, good quality curd, the 1283 is a good option. Continuing on, we'll walk past the sprouts to the storage cabbage. Because here you can see our whole demo field. We have all our material, all our cauliflower, our cabbages, our sprouts are all here. We have a couple new sprouts. First one is 16851. This is a, if I would have to estimate, I would say it's a 200-day variety, so it's really long cycle. So it's much longer than you are used to in California. But it might fit, you know, maybe in Ontario or in you know, Washington State. It's you know, one of the main benefits we saw in our trials, this variety, is that it's quite strong against thrips. Thrips, you know, it's a big plague, also for sprouts. And this variety has a good performance against it. It's a tall stem. And usually we get around 90 sprouts per stalk. You do need to fertilize it, you know, you need to start fertilizing, you need to give a bit extra just to push it out a bit more. So if you're looking for, you know, for those areas, 200-day variety, a lot of sprouts on stalk. The sprouts are what we call, they're about, yeah, we would say 30 mils, which is 1¼ inch, and that's about the size of the sprout. So we would say they're an M sprout, so they would fit both for processing, both for fresh market. But the quality, they are very dense and compact. This variety, the 794, it's a very easy growing tall variety, but it's a 240-day variety, so it's really late. It's way too late for your conditions. So it's more for this variety we would use in Scotland, because there they transplant in May and they would harvest in February next year. So it's for a really long time on the field. So it's not really suited. Brechin or Breakin, as they say in Scotland, is also quite late. Not really suitable for your market. And Brecht is the same. So we do, like I said, we do have earlier material coming through our breeding station, from our breeding team, but it will take some while. So we just have some longer cycle stuff here now on the field. So let's continue on to our storage cabbage. Storage cabbage. I'm showing, displaying 3 varieties here. This variety is called Hazelton. This is a known variety in the northeast of the US and New York State. It's, we know that it does well against black rot. It's fusarium resistant, strong against thrips, about 130 days maturity, and suitable for long storage. So it has a nice disease package. It stores well and it's fast enough to be harvested before the winter. You can see that there's a nice short core, very neatly layered. This is an excellent boxing cabbage for fresh market, so that's good. Then we have a new variety called Carrington. It's what we call a small-headed cabbage, so it stays a bit smaller than Hazelton. So if Hazelton gets up to 2.5 kilos, this will stay at 1.5, 1.6. So if you're looking for a small-headed cabbage, this is a good option. It's fusarium resistant, strong against thrips. We notice also that it does very well in long storage. You can store it up till July the next year. It's longer cycle than Hazelton though, so you need to. It's about 140 days, so that can be a bit risky for your markets. The most interesting newcomer for the US is called Tyson. Tyson is a 120-day variety, and you know, like all the other varieties I just mentioned, fusarium resistant. You know, it's our policy to have everything new fusarium resistant. It's 120 days. It's really easy growing. You know, we've tested it in all around areas in continental climate zone, so like in Russia, Ukraine, Poland, and it really does well in hot, warm summers. It keeps growing. It's strong against black rot. It's strong against thrips, and you can store it up till St. Patrick's Day, so around March. So it's a nice, versatile, easy growing with a good disease package. So this is probably our most exciting newcomer for the US. So this is in short the live stream of our assortment for the US. If you have questions, feel free to contact me. You have all my colleagues in the US. They know how to find me anyway. So don't hesitate, reach out. And then I would like to say goodbye and hopefully next time in person. See you.